So humanitarian need and program criticality are combined together in one criterion. First, we're going to look at the humanitarian need side, and then we're going to address what is program criticality. In order to answer the question of humanitarian need and program criticality, you're really asking two questions. Number one, is it really essential that we go? And number two, is the risk of not going greater than the risk of going with an armed escort? And in order to answer these two questions, you have to first know what the humanitarian needs are of the affected population. You have to look at how those needs can be met and identify if there are any critical gaps that your agency or other actors within the humanitarian community are only able to fill. A note here about needs assessments. The document says that as humanitarian actors, we are responsible for getting an impartial needs assessment, which means that it's not influenced by any military or political influences. But what if we are not allowed to have access to the affected population unless we go with an armed escort, such as in the cases as if it's being imposed by the state? Well, this isn't addressed specifically in the guidelines, but it does come up time and again in the field. And I would say that this is one of those times where the humanitarian community needs to throw its weight behind this document to say that this is evidence that, in fact, they do need access to be able to assess those needs impartially. In addition to assessing the humanitarian need, you also want to assess what are the security risks. So what are the risks that you may be exposing your staff, your program, the population to if you do end up proceeding with the mission and using armed escorts? You would then weigh this against the level of suffering or the humanitarian need, and having that information up front about the risks and the need will help you determine how critical is the mission at hand. What is the program criticality? Now, if the mission is not life-saving, if it doesn't seek to address acute suffering, you should reconsider the necessity of the mission. Also, you should know that program criticality has gone on to become a key concept in the UN Security Risk Management System since the publication of this document.